Okay, so I am playing my Mahali family, and I'm going to try to explain how this all works because a lot has happened before I've done any videos about it. Okay, so it goes all the way back to, oh gosh, I'm on 5th generation. This is the first generation. That's Liam, that's Belle. They're obviously dead. And he was a sculptor, she was a writer, and they started out in a little tiny house. And they had 1 bedroom, a kitchen, a tiny living room, and a bathroom. And basically over the years and generations, it's expanded to this house with this upstairs little area. And so many different people have lived here. They've all been Mahalis because this is the Mahali home, and they're the most famous family in the whole entire city. But here there's a gnome. This is somebody's wedding, Victoria's wedding, I think. Yeah. They took pictures along the way, and the house expanded because, as you saw, it's a really twisted family tree. But as you saw, this is Liam and Belle, first generation. They had 7 kids, and the first of which was Dune. Dune really didn't do much in his life, but he was there. He moved out right away. Then they had Victoria and Melissa. Victoria went and married Tommy. How is it saying Dune? Well, oh, there. She married Tommy, and then they had Kane. He's dead now. Then you had Melissa and Cassidy, JC, and Magdalene and Marius. These 2 are twins. They had, except for Dune, all the other ones were twins. And I bet you're wondering why, if you don't watch Sims, their eyes are glowing. That's because they're vampires, which happened, and the whole entire family tree just became a whole bunch of vampires at one point. All starting with Cassidy Mahali and Kermit Grove, who is, where is he? He should be in here. Oh, there he is. Kermit Grove. But now his name is Kermit Prachi, which I'll explain in a second. So, Victoria, no, not Victoria. Victoria was the one that I was going to go with. She went to Sims University, but then I chose Cassidy instead. Cassidy went and hooked up with a vampire, Kermit, and had his son, Dominic. But Kermit did not like that. Cassidy did not have much money, and he went and married her rich sister, Melissa, who he also turned into a vampire. And that's why her name is Melissa Grove. And they were married, and they got divorced on their own. I didn't touch anything with them. They just, one day I looked, and they were still living together, but they got divorced. Not really sure why. Anyway, then Cassidy went and got married to another guy, another vampire, named Ian. And look at how the guys are all taking the Mahali last name, which is interesting. And then she had 2 sons with him, Liam and Kyle. And then Dominic got kind of mad and decided he got a really big ability with his phone. So he got that whole relationship transmigrifier thingy and made it so that his father would get back together with his mother. So then that messed up a whole bunch of stuff, but then they got back together. And he was married, he was a vampire too, obviously, because his parents were both vampires. And he had, he had Kevin and Bethany with his wife, Melania. Melania's parents are up here. They didn't do anything, they were just kind of here. So he had her, and she was a witch, and she said, no, I don't want to be with a vampire. And he's like, what? Okay, so he went and got rid of his vampireness and became human. which is why his parents are outliving him. And he went, and then a spell went wrong with Melania, and she ended up putting a spell on Kermit to kiss her, and Dominic got really mad, and they got divorced. So that's how that ended. So then, obviously, he has all these children. He went and married this lady. Let me click on her. Okay. He went and married Beth. And Beth had 2 children from her previous marriage, Maggie and Lorelai, who were elders now, but obviously they weren't at that time. They were teenagers. And so then Maggie and Lorelai are kind of snobs, and then Bethany and Kevin had a whole bunch of trust issues from that, so they all didn't really get along, and they kind of got in fights and stuff. What is that? Cale Daniels. Cale Daniels did not look like that. He had red hair, and it was short, and now he has, I don't even know, dreadlocks. Whatever. He married Maggie, and they have a daughter named Thea. But they're not really part. They have the last name, well, she doesn't anymore, but they have the last name Mahali because their mom got Mahali, but they're not really Mahalis because they're stepdaughters of Dominic. Okay. So, Dominic and Beth had a lot of children together, as you can see. They had Bavalia, Juliet, Mark, Dominic Jr., Greg, Jamie Ann, Kathy Rose, Iris, Isaac, and Isaiah. So, yeah, they had a lot of kids. Look, Kevin's dead. That's really sad. He just died. Okay. So, anyway, they had all these children. These 3 were the last. And then she's engaged, I think, but I don't think she's... Yeah, she's still engaged to Michael Ponce, who she grew up with. That was her teenage love. That's Jamie Ann. They moved in together, and then they kind of moved out. And then Bethany married Prince Varric, and they have a son named Dominic Varric, but as you see, she hyphenated her name. Mark had, he has Sonia with his wife, Abby, but Sonia disappeared, and I don't really know why, but I couldn't bring her back. I tried. Anyway, but Bethany had Dominic Varric, named after her father, of course, and Kevin has Casamina and Stacy, and Casamina is a combination of her Melania and Cassidy, which are family names, and her mom was Pavana, but Pavana died recently too, and Stacy, I'm thinking, might have gotten taken away by the children protection, whatever, people come and get the kids, or she just disappeared too, like Sonia. I don't really know, but Casamina's still here, and she's a teenager now, living, but both her parents are dead, obviously. And then this is Anuva and Sony, and Sony is here. Sony moved in with her siblings because her sister said, no, I want my younger sister here, and that was Pavana. And so now you're probably wondering how we have Kermit, Sony, Casamina, Isaiah, Isaac, and Iris, because if you're paying attention to the family tree at all, if you can follow this, Casamina is Kermit's great-granddaughter, and Iris, Isaiah, and Isaac over here are all his grandchildren. Here. Well, what happened is the parents obviously died with Pavana and Kevin died. And so they went, and Sony was here, so then they left Casamina to Sony because she was the next of kin, and that still doesn't explain why we have the